myself. Make sure nothing else is muted.
Oh, that was a cool animation.
What? You never seen the
When you,
animation before?
No, I have not.
Oh, you gotta watch the beginning. That's awesome.
Well, usually as of recent, I'm either not here or I'm late. So,
All right. Yeah, it does the whole. By the way, since we're live again, and this time I think I've got my internet fixed. Hopefully, we're a lot clearer. And everything, and we picked up a Chris somewhere along the way, just kind of like hitchhiked along the side of the road with us.
yeah, we found our good luck charm.
But anyway, what I was trying to say is, for those of you that are here all the time, I know Pilot is. There are some of us that aren't here early. A while back, I created the start screen with the animation of the different engine failing to start and then finally starting at the end. And then there's a nice little transition in between scenes, which hopefully at some point I'll have the ability to sit down and actually flesh this live stream out even more and have the ability to switch between scenes when I get multiple monitors. That'll help more. But yeah, there's another animation that plays in between the start scene and the actual live. And that is something that I can do through Streamlabs, which is why I use Streamlabs and OBS Broadcaster instead of using StreamYard, because I wouldn't be able to do any of those things if I just used StreamYard. But anyway, welcome back. Glad you guys all are back here and stuck around. If you haven't hit that like button, please just hit the like button, just for the sheer fact of all of the struggles that we've had just trying to get this live stream up and going. Sorry, we're now 35 minutes into what normally would have been a live stream, and we're just now starting again. Okay, so for those of you guys that weren't here in the first take of this, I do have some channel updates. Number one, there will be no automotive content, even though I was planning on it for a little bit. And that is twofold. I can't go into it, but there's twofold reasons. The one reason I can say we're going into it is because me and Jess are looking for a permanent place, and hopefully a place with a garage that I don't have to worry about, and I can work on my cars without having to travel somewhere else. But we will see where that goes when we get to that bridge. We are looking, though. Anyway, so back to the live stream. How's everybody?
Okay, been worse.
We know Chris is in a good mood because we were talking to him before we popped back
Yeah.
here.
I'm so pumped right now. I feel like a teenager on his first prom night date, about to get his first you know what from his date.
You got the butterflies and everything, huh? Or
He's
with
got more than
that Disney
butterflies.
song go, he's got high hopes.
Yeah. I got a lot of high hopes, but there's a lot of negative butterflies in the severe life change that came about. I wasn't expecting, but it's like everything. I'll cope with it. I'll persevere, and I will succeed.
Everything happens for a reason, and it depends on what you do with it. It depends on whether it comes out for the better or for the worst, including the situation that I'm going through at the moment too. So
yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully we all have good outcomes, and there's a lot more positivity in the air in the coming future.
The way I look at it, and you can equate this to both our situations, or anyone's. When things are looking down or looking garbage, you really find out who your true friends are, because they're the ones that step up the bat and give you advice or give you assistance, whatever to help you
or
cope
even
with
just
it.
stand by you when shit hits the fucking fan.
Exactly. Yeah, you really find out who your true friends are, and my list all of a sudden got extremely damn short. Just like, hey, it's all right. Hey, when I get to where I'm going and you come around whining and crying, it's like, oh, what do you forget the favorite fishing hole and the beer and all that,
You guys still staying out
bite it.
west, or are we still split between PA and out west?
It's a combination of both, but it's eventually going to work out to where I will be more mid central oriented, and probably a whole lot more whole lot more free time, home time, to be able to actually do stuff, and which
good.
will expand. It'll expand our channel because will give us more time to do things.
Yep.
A little more income to do things or try to do things. And one good part is I actually got reunited with a guy that I knew. We worked at the same company for almost 6 years, probably about 20 years ago. And got reunited with him. Yeah, but basically he's one of them that lost contact for whatever reason, but basically brother from another mother, one that actually, you've knocked a few bottle caps back together, and brother from another mother type thing. If you're down and in a pinch, it's one of them type of people that just, shit, what do you need? Just call. I don't give a shit. Whatever you need, you call. I'll make arrangements to help you out.
Cool.
And he was real instrumental in this new venture. So
Cool beans. Well, if StreamYard does what it's supposed to do, I just gave everybody that popped back in here and joined us again. We'll see if it worked. 100,000 Nova cash? Maybe? Yeah, it worked.
Yep.
So everybody that popped back in here from the other live stream got 100,000 Nova cash.
Take that straight to the bank.
Right. Hopefully Cat pops back in. I'll let her know.
he has
she was
put
in the
on
last
something.
one.
Oh, shut up, you stupid action thing. I don't want no action. Get out of there.
What are you talking about?
You got a pet in the truck
I'm
tonight
trying-
or something?
No, I'm trying to read something that was in the chat that between Pilot and Miss Form stuff about something, but I missed it.
Oh, it just said, what are you looking for? The convertible?
Yeah, whatever they're talking about.
67 Corvette with an L88 motor, one of 20, sold on Malcolm for $2.45 million. And then Miss Formy said, "Dang, Pilot, that's a lot of money." And then Pilot said, his old boss had one, but it was a convertible.
I've hauled several of those. One
Jeez.
company I worked at when we were flatbedding, the owner of the company was a member of the, let's see, what is it? NCRS, which is the National Corvette Restorer Society.
Yeah.
And all they dealt with was, I guess it would be the C1s and the C2s, because they didn't get over anything over 70, maybe 72. But anything like 72 back, that's what they worked on. That we hauled several cars, like for club members. We would move cars from Texas, and then there was one company in Texas that actually took the modern drivetrain, and they made a tube chassis with the body mounts to mount the old first and second gen bodies on them, but would have all the modern suspension and powertrain components.
Cool.
And we would basically we would load a bunch of them chassis down in Texas along with our regular load sometimes, bring it back to the shop where they did this or otherwhere back in PA, and that basically paid. It was a favor load to the boss.
Right.
When everything got paid and come through, it was usually $500 or $600 cash under the table to us as a driver for bringing them back. I remember one time he didn't have a load for me to go flatbed with over in Easter. And he says, "How would you like to go to Texas?" I thought you said you didn't have a load. Says, I don't have a load for the truck, but I do have a load if you don't mind going trucking. I said, "Well, what?" Says, need to move a vet from Texas back to Virginia. Now you can go down. You'll meet the guy tomorrow. If you want to go, you can leave here tonight. You take my dually and my car trailer, go down and you can meet a guy in Virginia tomorrow. He'll give you the necessary paperwork, what you need to go down, and the address where you're going. You're going to go down to Seguin, Texas. I'm thinking, okay, we're going down to get chassis because that's where we got them from. No, that wasn't it. I mean, it's okay, yeah, fine, I'll go. It's a haul ass, Pickup truck, no logbook, haul ass, do what you want to do.
All right.
Meet the guy the next morning, got a FedEx. Here's this FedEx envelope. You give this to the gentleman down there once you're loaded. Everything's all set up. Here's his phone number, address. You got him out. So got hold of that guy, hauled ass down there. We picked up a 67 427 Corvette convertible roadster. Convertible.
Sweet.
That he had been restoring, and just decided to shut down his thing. I cried like hell because he had a rotisserie for doing body work
I
that
want
he
one
was
of those
selling.
so badly.
Yeah, you want to cry with me?
What?
He said, "Tell you what, you got room to get that in the trailer? You can have that rotisserie. I want $500 for it. Get out of my shop."
You didn't have any room, did you?
I didn't have any room.
I would have
Because we
broken it
loaded a
down. I
bunch
would
of
have broken that thing down and stuffed it everywhere.
it was solid. It wasn't a breakdown. He had
Oh.
made it himself, and it was a solid
Sawzall.
build minus the rotisserie.
Sawzall. Cut the welds.
There you go.
Trust me. I didn't have room in the trailer. I'll vote it because
Break it down in the freaking long pipes.
it wasn't all lost because he gave me a bunch of how to rebuild big blocks, rebuild Chevy small blocks, a bunch of those how-to manuals.
Yeah, I had a bunch of them at some point. I don't know where they're at.
Old guys, yeah. He gave me enough of those that filled the backseat of the boss truck. These are yours. He gave me a set of fender mats, which went to hell from the Corvette Society. Fender protectors when you're working under the hood to put over your fenders. He gave me a set of those. Then we go in the house and we drop this thing. So he rips the seal on this FedEx envelope, tips it upside down. And by then I had all the paperwork, title, and everything for the car going back. Dumps this thing out, and all I see is this plop, 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 pile of greenbacks dropping. Opens an envelope. There's an envelope that had a check for $15,000 in it. And then the plop, 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 you start stacking up. And my jaw's on the floor. My eyes are probably bigger than tire hubcaps. He says, "What's the matter? You ain't seen that much money before?" And I'm like, "Hell no, I've been high about it." Counts it out. There was 30 grand in cash in that FedEx envelope that the guy in Virginia gave me. And I stuck it in the back pocket of the driver's seat. And that's where I left it till the guy there had no clue what was in the envelope.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
you're just
then
a
hauled ass
delivery
with the
driver.
car, Yeah, got back with the car. The guy was surprised we were back. And I said, "Well, it wasn't that bad a trip. I drive truck for a living. This wasn't nothing. It was like a regular week trip." Got back, delivered to him. He said, "Okay, here's an envelope. Give that to the boss. This envelope's for you." And opened my envelope. 600 crisp $100 bills in there. I said, "You just printed these, didn't you?" He said, "Yep, don't spend them all in one spot. And I recommend you spend them out of state so they don't try to trace the serial numbers."
Right.
Yeah, just making a joke as he went to the bank. But it was. I wish I had pictures of some of the stuff I've hauled or moved over the years because some of it's just, wow, how'd they even get that thing on the truck?
Well, I'd like to have a special guest join our live stream as soon as she looks like she's ready again. Welcome back, AJ.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Howdy.
Good evening.
Good evening. Well, hope everybody had a good weekend.
We're getting there.
I got my jet skis fired up, so that's on the agenda.
There you go.
Chris would be liking the land version of the jet ski, but there's no more water on top of the ground anymore.
You mean a motorcycle?
No, it's snowmobile.
Oh, okay, that's another one.
There's plenty in the mountains, especially out where she's at. It's just a matter of trucking them to get there.
True.
Oh, yeah. There's no snow here anymore. We just had freaking pretty bad rainstorm here today.
Speaking of snowmobiles,
go ahead.
I saw a video about like 2 weeks ago. These guys, they were going out to the salt flats and they're like, "Oh yeah, bring the side by side, bring this, that," and brought a go-kart. And one of the guys was like, "Oh, I know, I'll bring my snowmobile." And he regretted that shortly after he got off the trailer.
What happened?
Well, the thing about snowmobiles is they're made to go on this white stuff that nobody likes called snow that, cools everything down.
Yeah.
Well, without the cooling effect of the snow going over the track locked up.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he's sitting there and he's giving it gas, and the rear end's just squatting because it's locked up. And he's like, "What's going on?" And then he just holds it down a little bit longer, and something breaks, and everyone's just like, "Oh!" And there's pieces of something flying everywhere.
Yeah, because they only have a plastic gear to turn the track.
Yeah.
Most often it's like a plastic hog, and then you got your nylon slides on the bottom that the
a nylon
metal clip in the track.
And nylon's still plastic.
Yeah, metal clip rides and that. So you melt them down, and then
And that's it.
your
Yeah.
cogs will break. But that, I mean, on top of that, he probably burned the engine down too, or at least scored the cylinder.
Yeah. We got stuff with Cletus in the chat. I did send a message out to Kat because Kat was in the chat in the last one. I don't know if she found the new one, the new live stream. But this is actually our. It's a good thing you didn't join to us earlier, AJ, because we had a massive internet failure.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was running on like 12 megabytes download and like 3 upload. Normally I run 250 download and like 20 upload. So we were definitely, I don't know what was going on, but I restarted the computer and I guess it fixed it, whatever it was. But yeah, so it's actually second attempt.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we figured it out, that's it's better than what used to happen. Because when I had just the laptop and everything, oh my god, we were having internet and computer failures left and right. Be lucky if we
depends
could
on the weather too.
Huh?
Different parts of the country, weather will affect it too.
Yeah, not really so much up here because most of up here is all fiber optic, so weather doesn't really mess with the fiber optic stuff because we don't run satellite.
My dog did, and she chewed the wire apart, so I had no internet all day long. I couldn't figure out why.
That's a different kind of storm there. That's a puppy storm.
Yeah.
Puppy storm.
I'm lucky my cats don't chew on stuff like that. My mom's one parrot found out that electricity sucks the one time because my mom was vacuuming, and those old like Kenmore vacuums where you had like the canister that would like roll around on the floor, and then the rest of the, the old school like toe behind vacuum cleaners. Well, her parrot decided to chew through the cord while my mom was vacuuming. Big loud pop. Bird went back like 2 feet and kind of stood up, shook himself off, and there was no more vacuum cleaner. Chewed completely right through like one bite through all of the wires.
Oh my god!
And so like it caused it was one of those retractable cord vacuum cleaners. So when the bird
so the cord just shot straight in.
Yeah, the broken end of the cord shot into the vacuum, and the other part was still plugged into the wall. Popped the circuit breaker.
Vacation.
Gave the bird a shock of his life, literally. Bird was fine. It was a blue front Amazon. But yeah, that bird learned not to mess with wires after that.
That reminds me of Christmas Vacation. If she had 9 lives, she'd spin them all right there. Remember that? The cat went under the chair and chewed the wires. Throw the chair away. Christmas Vacation, Chevy Chase.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. I think I was a kid.
It's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite Christmas movie is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I want to see that one.
Tim Burton from the mid '90s. Definitely cult favorite from my generation.
Very good. Adam Sandler had a good one. I can't remember the name of it. It's called
the Hanukkah one.
Crazy Nights.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that one was good. You can't go wrong with an Adam Sandler movie.
Definitely.
I can tell you my girlfriend's favorite one is Little Nicky. She's over there giggling as soon as I mentioned it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Exactly, that same giggle.
He's awesome.
Yeah. It's a shame he's not really making movies anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I think Hollywood slowed down a little bit this last year.
I think it's more of today's generation moved on from that type of humor.
We need a new Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
We just need a generation to be able to take things lightheartedly again.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think it'll get better. A few margaritas and all's good.
As Pilot says, it's 12 o'clock somewhere.
It's
5 o'clock somewhere is the
Alan Jackson and
it's not Alan Jackson isn't the one that it was who was it that originally did that? It was
Buffett.
Yeah, Jimmy
Buffett. No, he did
Buffett.
He did a song with Alan Jackson.
Yes, he did. That was actually a good a good remake of that song. But
well, hey,
go ahead.
are you guys into? I got a couple of things to share with you. I know I shared this before. Sammy Chaffee,
Yeah,
Blue
his CD
Helix.
from the book.
Yes, he's got some more music out under his own name and not the band, but Sammy Chaffee. I guess I shouldn't put it right in my face.
You gotta just watch so the light's not reflecting off of it.
Well, here, let me try something else.
No, put it down a little so the light's... There you go. Now we can see it.
Sammy Chaffee. It's also in the videos.
Yeah.
For
those of you guys that don't know, that is the musician that is partnered with her for her book.
I have some other news too. I'm going to share with you folks. I would love if you could write this down. As fate would have it, I have another musician that crossed my path. A very good one, family friend. And this was a complete surprise. I didn't know he did it professionally. John Giannone, and he's a composer for contemporary jazz. So I'm going to get this up here. Oh, does that work? There we go.
Yeah, I actually see the logo to your book in the reflection. I don't know why.
That's interesting. Probably because I put the background screen and it needed a blue screen, and so it's stealing it from John Giannone somehow. But you can see it.
Oh, your screen just shut off.
Mine did? Or her?
No.
No, yeah, the screen on her phone
Thanks for letting me know. So, John Giannone, Giannone.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to work.
You could probably turn off the back screen or the background for her, because you're just using your own background.
Let me see if it'll do that. Let me see if I can do that. Okay.
There you go.
Now we'll try that. It's still really hard.
It's just showing blue.
Okay, well, you have to take my word for it. I'll have to send you the link.
You can type it in the hey, by the way, if you're on your phone, go on your phone and look up the video that we're in now so you can follow the chat. So if you look up NOVAtazz Automotive Podcast Season 3, Episode 13, it should say Take 2. That is the current live stream that we are in, and then you can follow the chat along with us, because you won't see the chat up here in StreamYard. So if you want to follow the chat, that's the best way to do it. Just make sure you turn the volume down so we don't get an echo.
Yes. Okay, no problem. So that's what's streaming right now.
Yes, and then you can
type the names of what she's sharing in there too.
Yeah, you just can't post a link unless you send the link to me in StreamYard, in the chat in StreamYard. Then I can share that, but it won't let you share a link.
I could jump in there and do that real quick for you if that works for you, Sean.
But yeah, if you log into the YouTube live stream, then you can actually see the everybody else's chat.
Yeah, Pilot, the stuff you're sending me is hilarious as hell.
Oh.
Pilot's been sending me some text messages with pictures.
Yeah.
And some of them were just a riot. He sent one today. It's basically like a Michigan mule train. The all steel that it pulled into a truck stop. I'm just here for the free tire check.
Oh my god!
And the truck must have 20 axles underneath it.
Damn.
It's hilarious.
Chris, I'm not sure if you follow Cletus McFarland on YouTube.
Yes, well, every now and then.
He just posted like 2 or 3 videos ago the rig that picked up all the cars to take them out to Cletus and Cars out in Texas. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's a 9-car hauler. It's a 2020 or 2019, fully customized straight from the factory.
Damn.
It's
probably something like they use from reliable carriers.
Yeah,
or one of those type of companies.
It's bright metallic purple and green. Straight from the factory. The whole engine, everything he got it delivered that way.
Now, is it their own truck?
Yeah, it's his truck.
Or a company they hired his truck. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not Cletus's truck. It's his friend's.
I mean,
his friend owns the car hauling company, and it's his friend's personal truck.
Right.
But yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to get back in there later on when we're done.
But yeah, they loaded Warbird. They loaded they loaded Neighbor and a couple of the other Panther platform cars.
Probably Leroy and Ruby.
Leroy and Ruby are already there. They went in the toter home.
Okay.
Because they were out there for the
Toast. Did they take Toast?
No, Toast is still waiting on his engine and stuff to be done. But they took Warbird, the Australian one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took that one out there. They took Neighbor. They took White Trash. They took the other pickup truck. They took JH's truck. They took the Mystery Machine.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's a riot.
Oh my god, it has 500 horsepower now.
It's like the size of a shopping cart, though.
Yeah, it is. It's the size of a shopping cart and makes 500 horsepower, and the exhaust comes right up the front of the vehicle.
No, right up the front.
It looks like an elephant trunk.
You're gonna have to be careful. They might freaking.
What they put in it? A rotary
fracture the windshield. Yeah,
I don't know what's in it.
I'm pretty sure it's still the rotary.
But they put a firewall in it and everything. So the firewall is it's obviously in the back. It separates the front half of the vehicle from the back half.
Yeah.
But,
well, hopefully they, won't
AJ,
need
I
it
don't
to
know
be.
if you know the channel that we're talking about.
No, I don't.
It's called Cletus McFarland. He got his start with 1320 videos, which covers a lot of drag racing events and different things.
Oh, very cool.
So his name isn't really Cletus McFarland. It's his online persona. He plays like a redneck hillbilly that's into racing, but it's not like it's kind of close to who he is. But his real name is Garrett. Cletus is his character he plays. But
He looks like a Garrett too.
He does. But anyway, so he does all kinds of automotive content. He got his fame from a Corvette that he stripped all the body panels off of. So it's just the tub and the frame, and then he made a giant tube
NHRA tube frame.
Yeah, so it's a tube framed vet cart is what they call it.
Wow,
with
that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a 427 cubic inch engine, twin turboed, with a manual trans.
Now, is he running 5 or 6 speed in that?
He runs, I think, a 6 speed.
It's a 6.
But that car is.
And his best passed is what, a 704?
Just above a 7. Well, just under like a 7.5, I think.
Low 7s, low 7, mid to low 7s.
But then he also
0
has
to 60 and 7.
Huh?
What were you saying? 0 to 60 and 7?
No. Quarter mile in 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Jeez, okay.
But the thing is, not slow by any stretch.
Almost 150, 160 miles an hour?
Oh, no. God, no. He's got to be doing like 170, 180.
Well, no, because his he's hurt right now. The car's hurt. They know it needs a new engine, but they're running it out. They ran it at Texas 2K, and it was running around 150 in the quarter at 7.5. And he just ran a pass that I saw before I started this live at Cletus and Cars for the first day. They ran a 7.5 at 147. So the car's hurt. It's gonna go. But
first street legal stick shifted GM car to hit.
It's still got the record.
Hit the 7. Yeah, as I said, he's still got the record, the top speed in ET.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Sure.
But the turbo's on its way out, and so is the engine. But that engine's been in that car for 2 years. So
yeah, multiple passes, Rocky Mountain Race Weeks is harder than hell on him, especially after driving from track to track.
I know that he said like he has no problems. He knows if that engine lets go, it lets go. It's definitely earned its keep. They have something bigger. They have something bigger planned for that thing for its next iteration. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens after it blows up. to see what they have up their sleeve, because if it's bigger than what it is now, I mean, they're having trouble keeping parts under that thing now.
Yeah, it'll be a 2-year learning curve for them again to get it hooked up.
But I think I think my favorite car that they have is actually Ruby.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Ruby's got a story.
Yeah, Ruby is a full bodied Corvette. That used to be a guy's drag car until it blew up on him. He ended up selling it.
Yeah, that was a Copart car when he got it, wasn't it?
It was, somebody had thrown just a regular 4.3 junkyard motor in it, which was not what was in it when it was under the configuration that the dude sold it in.
Mm-hmm.
He sold it with a blown engine, and then whoever bought it threw a junkyard engine in it, and then re-put it up on Copart, and sold it as a street car. Cletus bought it, started playing around with it, then found out it actually had a history, and now it's another 427 big block car from Texas Speed with a single large blower.
Single turbo, 2-speed power glide.
Not turbo, blower.
Large.
I mean, not blower, turbo.
Large.
Yeah, that thing's huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what what was it? That turbo's got to be like this big around. The opening.
Like an 88 millimeter or something like that, isn't it?
It's huge. But they had everything out there.
It's almost as big as what we'd run on the truck.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have everything but the Dale truck, and I think Toast. Everything else is out there in Texas right now.
Yeah.
I don't think they left anything home. Because
now they do that in Houston or not?
They're in Houston right now.
Is that a
They were at Texas
Houston?
2K last week, and this week they're at Cletus and Cars. So I think that one's in Houston. Yeah. I don't know where Texas 2K is held though.
I think they do that down by TMS.
Yeah. But yeah, they
somewhere in Texas Motor Speedway, I believe.
They took Leroy the vet cart. They took Ruby the full bodied Corvette, and they took that really, really nice Pro Street Nova.
Yeah, James's.
No, not James's. The other guy, the second gen Nova.
Oh yeah.
And then they took James's first gen Nova. Down to Texas 2K, and then that got shipped to. Somebody's got the video playing. I can hear the echo.
I think the most interesting thing about all that is when he got the record with Leroy, they actually made 3 or 4 passes with no coolant in the engine. Said it's either going to go or blow.
Well, and that's the way he goes. That's exactly what's going on with Leroy right now. Is, it's we know it's going. We're going to send it, and if it goes, it goes. If it holds together, well, then that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
Got to give credit to Texas Speed. They build one hell of an engine.
Oh, I wish I could work with Texas Speed.
They are abused.
Yeah, if I could work with Texas Speed, I would drop that in my Nova in a heartbeat.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, 427 freaking in the Nova. Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized that second gen Nova is running an LT1 in it.
Oh.
Not an old school LT1, but the current gen Corvette motors.
Oh wow.
So 70, I think it's like a 71 Nova running a C7 LT1 engine in it. So that thing's quick too. It runs 7s. I think he runs a high 7 though, because he's matched right up there with Jack Stan with his Nova and Ruby. They're all right around the same time slips.
Mm-hmm.
So low 8s, high 7s. Did you? Oh, you got to watch Cletus's video from today, and freaking Jack Stan Jimmy literally ran probably half the drag strip in a wheelie.
Oh my god!
In the Nova, it just went up and never came back down.
That's cool.
And that was his dad's car.
Mm-hmm.
His dad
going up's good. It's when they come down that's the problem.
Yeah, he smacked.
They don't land. They don't land gently.
He smacked the blow-off valve, the bottom of the tranny pan, and the bottom of the engine pan.
Oh,
not bad enough. I don't think it was leaking. but
not like
you can
Cletus did
definitely
with
see
Ruby.
where he kissed the ground with it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to watch the end of the episode because I had to come up here and start the live stream.
Dukes
The
of
only
Hazzard.
problem with drag shocks, the rebound on them is so basically non-existent. So when they hit it off the line, that it instantly transfers all the way to the back.
Right.
They don't have any real compression in them when they come back down. It's like just
Well,
bam, bottom out, done.
I'm curious to see. I'm curious. They have an El Camino that they're working on, and that thing has it even has sensors for the shock travel. So they'll know exactly how far the shocks are traveling. They have ETA readings for every cylinder. That engine it has two different fuel rails. One fuel rail to run the regular gas, and the other one to run methanol. That they can just the computer will literally automatically flip it over to methanol as soon as he drops the hammer.
As soon as he floors it.
Yeah, as soon as he floors it, it'll immediately switch it over to methanol. They don't even have to sit there and close the valve for the regular gas, open up the methanol valve, and do all kinds of different switchings. It literally does it on the fly. So he can run it as a street car, and as soon as he wants to, he mashes the gas, and instantly it'll inject methane instead.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's sweet. That's a twin turbo. It's another twin turbo 427, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's their most dependable engine combination right now.
Is that the one they had the jet engine in the back?
They were going to, yes.
Yeah, then they decided to change it.
Yeah, and instead, which is actually pretty
did they leave it in there for show purposes, or did they pull it out?
No, it's out.
They were going to use it, and then Cletus decided his life was worth more than having a jet car. After that,
yeah, well, it was right after that driver, that company that was setting him up with their female driver actually died in that wreck at the one race they were at.
Yep,
I saw that actually. I remember that. That wasn't that long ago.
No, it was only a year or two ago.
Yeah, it was last year.
Last year. They weren't necessarily backyard engineering that one, but it wasn't anywhere near. What happened is right after that, they brought on this. Was it Kevin? Yeah, they brought on Kevin, who is like a race car engineer, and he got a hold of the El Camino. He also did the roll cage in Ruby, didn't he? Isn't he the one?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's the one who did the roll cage in Ruby. But I think that's where they met him, was doing the roll cage in Ruby, and then they actually just partnered with him and use him exclusively now to do most of their race car stuff. But he got a hold of this El Camino, and it went completely in a different direction. I mean, it's.
I think the last time I seen an update on that, they were talking about having the car running a regular engine, and they were going to leave the jet engine in the back just to blow flames without.
You are so last year.
Yeah,
you are way behind, Chris.
It's got a.
What can I say?
It's got a fully built Texas Speed 427 twin turboed, and not like Ruby thrown in turbos or even Leroy thrown in turbos. I mean, this is art.
Yeah.
This whole car is art. I mean, the roll cage underneath of the chassis. So it's not only got the roll cage in the car, but the whole underside of the car is.
That's actually a good idea to protect it.
Well, yeah, and so and the roll cage is engineered to work with the parts that are going in it. So the whole chassis was built around the parts that were going in it instead of the parts being made to fit the car. The car was made to fit the parts. And so everything is engineered and everything fits just right. This thing is like a race car driver's wet dream. But it looks like a street car. It looks like a street car from the outside, except for the giant turbos sticking out of the engine bay. But
and the freaking slicks on the back that'll make it look like a steamroller that'll burn out.
Right?
Careful. God, you're going to make me want to pull my helmet and fire suit back out again.
Pilot is sitting here bragging about not having to put.
Oh, speaking of fire suit, it's got onboard fire extinguishers too. All he's got to do is he's got to reach up and pull a thing. It's right here, and there's a nozzle for his feet, a nozzle for his head and chest, and nozzles for the engine bay, all over the car.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's mandatory.
Yeah.
They should actually put that in all of them because, man, we used to live right next to the raceway.
I'm going to have to block Pilot. He's talking about electric vehicles in the chat room.
Hearsay.
Blasphemy.
I was going to ask you guys about that too. I've had, I've seen some guys that redid a Pontiac and put, electric engine in it and have audio so you can hear what the old car sounded like. It just doesn't seem right.
No, that's just stupid. If you're gonna go electric, just keep it electric. I have no problem with innovation. I have no problem with people doing whatever they want to their personal cars.
Right.
So they want to stick to the electric vehicle. That's fine. Mine will have a gasoline engine, and I will go down kicking and screaming until I can't do it anymore.
I feel that way too. These are like pets, know.
But yeah, I mean, with the new thing that EPA is rolling out, and the whole going fully electric by 2035, I don't see how they're going to do the electric, because there's no way you're going to have that many vehicles needing to be hooked up to an electricity at some point during the day, and we just don't have that. I don't see them functionally having an infrastructure to be able to support that.
I do. Look how much power we're using power right now. Everywhere you go, every office building, store, everything. All they have to do is have some sort of an adapter to plug in.
But it takes over an hour to charge one of those cars.
They'll figure it out by then. They'll figure something out.
I see it. I don't see it being. I see it as a good idea, but the other thing is the amount of the amount of pollution that we put out in cars. I'm sorry, but making those batteries and everything else puts out way more pollution.
It's a different kind of pollution.
Yes, I know, but it's still, and it's actually almost worse than the other pollution.
Well, if they can reuse the battery, recharge them, that would be better.
But they don't. They don't last that long. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, geez, I see
10 years.
I see Priuses sitting on the side of the road because their battery, it costs too much to replace the batteries. The batteries, to replace the batteries, cost more than it costs to buy the car to begin with.
Right. Okay. Well, do you remember the first DVD players and the first computers? And now we have these little tiny things. This is a computer. Do you remember how big the mainframes in the 70s were? It's just time. I think it's just time. Right now, not quite, but 2035 is quite a ways away. A lot can change by then.
Yeah. I think it's also more of, I'm just also not happy about the fact that in trying to push electric vehicles, they're literally stomping out the
muscle
hobby
cars
and the hobby and the things that I enjoy. That's fine.
Don't worry, Sean. When it comes to that point, we'll open up a moonshine still.
Yeah, Sean, they're gonna. I gotta mention that too, because that really hit my heart when all this is coming up and people pushing back on the gas guzzlers from the 80s and 70s. The muscle car era, those are like pets. The same people own them, same people maintain them and keep them, and hand them down to their kids. They're not going anywhere as long as we can preserve what's here.
But my worry is regulations going into effect that literally make those cars illegal.
I don't think that'll happen. They'll be grandfathered. There's too many people.
They're doing it already. Have you paid attention to anything about the EPA and what they're doing recently?
Trying to. There's a lot to keep up.
They are literally banning any vehicle that is not factory stock. Which literally kills almost the whole hot rod, and whether it's modern hot rods or classic hot rods, it kills them all. So if you've done anything,
it'll also affect the motorcycle market.
Anything,
too.
Diesels, muscle cars, imports, it's killing them all.
Well, they've been trying to
rock crawlers, mud buggies.
They are saying that unless any vehicle that was sold as a street vehicle originally is not allowed to have any modifications done to anything that will affect the stock emissions. So you're not allowed to.
I'll look into that because there's got to be a workaround. There's too many of these cars. There's got to be a workaround. Some sort of a grandfather.
Let's say MagnaFlow. Almost every big company that you know of has been hit with fines from the EPA in the last couple of years because of what they are doing right now. I mean, I did a whole video the other day. I think it was two weeks ago.
The other day.
It was the other day. But there was plenty of other better YouTube videos out there. Just look up EPA and SEMA's RPM Act. SEMA is trying to fight it, but it's a twofold, because number one, you gotta have idiots to stop doing things at like car shows and things like that, You have to have people stop doing these illegal drag races on the street, because none of that is helping the outlook of the car hobbyist on the rest of the population.
Correct.
When you have some idiot taking out 3 people leaving a car show, like they did down in Texas a couple months ago, that doesn't look like, people are like, well, people don't need that kind of stuff on the street. And no, you're right, we don't need it, but if you're responsible about it, then it doesn't hurt anyone.
Most car owners, I mean, these are pets. We love them. Mm-hmm. They're a family pet. They're not going to put their car in jeopardy to get hurt or hurt someone else.
No, it's the people that are not responsible.
It's the 1% ruining it for the other 99.
Well, yeah, and we can deal with that somehow.
Pilot, you're not wrong. He says that his Cadillac goes to the crusher because of a K&N filter. Yeah, actually, not a crusher. God. You get fined. Even a cold air intake is deemed illegal. An exhaust isn't illegal. Anything you do to modify the engine,
aftermarket coil packs,
camshaft,
hot or spark,
anything like that is being deemed in that ban from EPA.
There's no way they could enforce that.
Not everywhere, but what happens is they enforce the people making the parts. If you kill it from the top down, it's not gonna. They don't have to worry about attacking every little person out there, because they attack the big companies. They can no longer produce the parts, or it's no longer affordable to go through the hoops that the EPA has, where they want you to certify every single part that comes out of your factory. Every single, not like this part, but the single individual parts have to be certified and stamped. And there's no way.
God forbid you got to pass California laws for CARB.
Huh?
I said, God forbid if you got to take it. You got that done, then you got to take it to CARB for California.
Well, that's what the EPA.
There are more stringent restrictions.
That's what EPA wants to do. The whole statewide, the whole United States. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to kill the aftermarket car community.
Yeah.
And then they're not going to have to worry about it, because there's not going to be no parts for people to put on their cars.
Well, you know what that just does? Makes those cars that much more valuable. Everything has a pendulum that swings one way or the other. And typically it gets swung too far in one direction.
Yeah. And I don't really care how much. I have this thing behind me. I don't care how much it's worth. That's not the point. I don't own it because of how much it's worth. I don't own it because of the collector value. I own it because I enjoy driving it. And if I can't drive it because it's not legal on the street, then and not to mention, yeah, sure, I'll keep it, but it won't have the same. The reason I have it is because I want to drive it.
Right. I understand.
And if I can't drive it, then it doesn't matter how much it's worth.
Well, Sean, what I'm saying is be encouraged, because the pendulum will swing for a time, but there'll be enough people that push back on it and make adjustment. I think these guys are going to be grandfathered. I understand they don't want to make more like it. And, the newer additions of, the Mustang, the Charger, the Challenger, the Camaro, the Corvette, those guys have to go through some adjustment and comply with,
But I think in the end of the day, they're, because no offense, but not offending to you, but if like the one shop that they raided, okay, they fined one of their cars for not having catalytic converters on it, but that car ran a cleaner sniff test than it did stock. What's the point of having the catalytic converter at that point? If the car literally burns cleaner than it did with the catalytic converter, the whole point of the catalytic converter is to make the car burn cleaner. Well, if they're able to do that with a tune, and to be able to make that car run cleaner and better and perform better without a catalytic converter, why should a catalytic converter be required at that point? And besides, it was also a race car. It wasn't a street car.
Well, that's the thing. That's the exception to the rule. They're trying to cover the masses. I'm on your side. I love these cars, and I know what you're saying about wanting to be able to take it out every day. Look, I've got 2-stroke jet skis from 1995, and there's a lot of lakes that won't let you take them out, and I didn't know that, and it's a big hassle. I can't remember which year is the cutoff, but they don't pass. They're old, they're antique, they're probably worth nothing to anyone except myself. But I love them, I ride them as much as I can, and yeah, they're getting limited, and I figure it's probably for a time, and at some point I'll upgrade and get a newer one, but I'm not going to get rid of these.
Right.
But maybe so you're saying in your state that's where this is happening. It's not in
not my state.
No, it's nationwide.
It's United States.
EPA is like, it's federal.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So this is not something that's just California or just PA. This is nationwide. They're cracking down on the tuners and the sellers of performance automotive products. And it will trickle down to, the little people like me and you. And it'll probably affect more of the little shops. The hole in the wall tuners, it'll kill them. The big companies might survive by selling different stuff. Right. But those little guys that that can't afford to get certified from CARB or whatever it is, those guys that can't afford to rent time to get their parts certified or their tunes certified. And what they're saying is every single tune. So like, I'm a tuner and I make a tune for you, for your car. I have to have that tune certified. Otherwise I get a fine. How are you going to do that for how many tunes that are out there for every single car that, and especially today, every single engine out there that's a modern engine needs to be tuned. You can't just throw a carb, it's not like a carb where you can, whatever. These are every single car that you modify parts on that has a computer, it needs a special tune because you can't run it on a stock tune at that point.
Right.
And it's like, that's also things like this thing that I have down here. I have the Sniper EFI. Sitting here waiting for this car behind me. That makes its own tune. How am I supposed to certify that? It tunes on the fly. Right.
No, I understand. I don't know. This is news to me. I knew they wanted to
look it up. It's a scary thing. It will literally kill the car community.
It could kill the older cars.
No, it can kill. It'll more kill the modern cars than it will kill the older ones because older ones don't have as much emissions. Okay, so an older car, you need an evap, you need your charcoal canister, you need your maybe catalytic converter, depending on what year it is, stuff like that. It's only got to have what it came from the factory with.
Right.
All right, but you got to think about all the modern muscle cars and hot rods and tuners, anything from the 1980s on, because anything from the 80s, factory emissions.
Cats come out in what, 76?
Something like that. Yeah, because my 77.
76, 77.
But you gotta think about it. Anything from the 80s, the emissions were horrible. It wasn't emissions at that point. It wasn't. That was a Band-Aid. I mean, it's gotten a lot better in the newer years. But think, if you had to keep your 80s Malibu Monte Carlo SS stock.
Those are cool. No, man, that was
engine-wise, way they looked, sure, it was cool. But to make those cars awesome, you have to give them a little pep under the hood. The pep that they should have had from the factory, but because of the EPA and all that stuff, they strangleholded them. And the thing is most modern engines that they would, most any tune-up that a modern car guy would give that car would run way better than it would have at factory settings anyway. Both emissions and horsepower.
Totally agree there.
But yet they're forcing it. You can't do anything but keep it stock. So it makes no sense. The EPA should be more worried about what's coming out of the tailpipe than how it gets to the tailpipe. Well,
I think that's kind of their point.
It's not.
That's what their point with the two-strokes were.
All right, you need to watch somebody. They're not worried about necessarily what's coming out of the tailpipe. They're more worried about whether or not it's got factory emissions control devices on it and does not have any emissions defeat devices.
There's got to be a way around it.
There's got to be.
Sean, I don't know how, but I think where there's a good group of people that have a good argument and they can prove your point, just like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Then there could be a specialty loophole. Yeah. A certain type of certification.
My thing is I think that if you can pass a sniff test, if you can put a one of those exhaust gas sniffers in the tailpipe, and it's below a certain thing. whatever threshold they deem is for that car. And it should be per car. It should be all right. It's an '86, Mustang. It should have this that's what it was supposed to have from factory. If it can match that or be lower, then it shouldn't matter what modifications you have done to the car.
Okay, Sean, I have a challenge for you guys then, and anybody may be listening. You know what? The people putting the laws together don't always understand all of it. I get your point, and I would say there's got to be a way to reach out to the folks that actually put that law into place. And I'm serious.
I've already sent my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
If you go to SEMA.com.
Okay.
And you check out their RPM Act, they have a nice, simple widget that gets you in contact with your government officials to send them to send all of your government officials a nice little letter stating the fact that you're supporting the RPM Act and that you would like them to do so as well. I've already done that. I did that the second that I saw it.
Same here.
Okay, well, I'll jump in there and do it.
Yeah, so, I mean, and that's exactly what SEMA wants people to do. You got to stand up. Now, granted, that one's mainly for race cars, which, that's a race car. It's modified. It's modified to go faster. But that's it's not a car that I daily drive. In fact, I don't drive it at all right now because I'm waiting for this fuel system to go into it, but yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. You just need you need to proposition your government officials, but it's whether or not your government officials listen to you at that point.
Well, with enough people, you guys, enough people and a good argument, you just have to get it to the right people. Another thing is get it to the press. I've got a cool thing to share with you. HARO stands for helpareporterout.com, and I just started writing for them and sending in articles to different publications. So it's a matter of time before, hopefully and prayerfully something picks up. But getting through to the right journalist or editor and putting a story out on this kind of thing and really ballooning it up, because I don't know how many people in the right places need to know this to make a shift or a change, just enough, something that's workable for everybody. Yeah. Obviously, we want to help the environment, but we surely don't want to kill the muscle cars. I've gotten into arguments and debates on that, and I'm torn, but I am very, biased toward, Pontiacs. 20 years ago, next year, 20-year anniversary of it's, Pontiac, the death anniversary of it, So I really support a mutually beneficial answer. There's got to be something.
The Trans Am died in 2002. Pontiac died in 2009, I do believe.
The last Firebird rolled off the assembly line.
Yes, the last Firebird, 2022, 2002. The last Pontiac, I think, was 2009.
Possibly, but when they stopped making Firebirds, I mean, really, that was kind of the win for me.
I don't know. I liked the GTO that they came out with. Basically the Holden.
You mean the Holden Monroe or Commodore?
Yeah, it was still a nice car. Also, you had that was Chevy, the Chevy SS. Those were both really nice cars. Now, granted, they were Australian GM cars, but yeah, I think the GTO was the last hurrah for Pontiac.
Yeah, well, Todd and Scott Womack of Trans Am Depot and Trans Am Worldwide, they're still doing stuff. So
yeah, the only problem with those cars are they're so far out of reach from the common Pontiac enthusiast. Because not only do you have to buy a Camaro, because you literally have to outright buy a Camaro, then you also have to pay for the conversion, which is almost the cost of the Camaro. So you're looking at $120,000 to $160,000 just to own a rebadged Trans Am. Granted, it's nowhere near the Camaro that it started out as, but you're basically buying two cars for the price of one. So it really doesn't make it any economic sense to buy one.
Well, there are sister cars coming off the assembly line. GM is GM.
Well, no,
So
it's the same. Yeah, it's the same car, but it's not.
it.
It leaves the assembly line as a Camaro, then it gets sent to Trans Am Depot to
Right.
be completely stripped down, and all of the new parts put in. It's not even a Camaro at that point anymore. But like I said, it doesn't make any sense because it's no longer at the same price point as the Camaro that it's competing against.
Well, it's a different thing. You're still getting the Pontiac Firebird, really.
Yeah, it's still cool. I just wish they could. I wish that they could get these cars before, like when they're just a chassis. You know, if
well,
they,
have you been to the Shelby conversion section of the Mustang at the Ford plant? I was in Las Vegas and I saw where they convert them.
Yeah.
They convert. They take a box the size of, I don't know, it was like a 3 or 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot box, and they just saw a Mustang to bits and put all of the parts they're not going to use in there and assemble all the Shelbyware and convert it right there in the plant.
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing.
But the Shelby ones, you know, even a base Shelby is under $100,000.
Okay, that was how many years ago though?
No, it's current cars.
Current? Yeah, well, you know,
they're like 85 for like a Shelby 350.
Yeah, you're still dealing with the Pontiac side was a more luxury division of the car.
I think that don't get me wrong. I do not hate on what Trans Am Depot, Trans Am Specialties, all of them, what they're doing. But the problem is I think they would do a hell of a lot better if they could get a hold of these cars when they were basically just the
if they could get the skeletal structure and just take them from there,
and then they could probably do it a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah, but GM has been doing it. It's a matter of them working it out with GM.
But yeah, like so instead, if you want one of these cars, you have to buy a Camaro at full list price, and then have it converted. You know, unlike the Shelbys, because the Shelbys you can get right through Ford.
Correct. Yeah. That's what I mean. They're right there in the same.
But the Trans Ams are not. The Trans Am, the GTOs, and the I think they also do regular Firebirds as well. Those cars aren't. You literally have to buy a Camaro and then take it to them to have it done. Right. So you're basically buying a car twice. You know what? The average person can't afford that. As much as I could afford, if I could afford a Camaro ZL1, I couldn't afford a Trans Am because, and it's not that I'm not getting the performance, because you're actually probably getting a little bit more than a ZL1, maybe. You're definitely getting more than a regular Camaro, or I'm not sure if you're necessarily getting more than like a ZL1 1LE.
Right. You remember the counting cars, the guy that completely customizes? Okay, well that's what those guys are doing. But you're getting a custom Trans Am or Firebird when they don't make them anymore. Those guys can really name their price, which is sad for the public, but good for them. But I am, for one, I'm really glad that they didn't completely die out, even though GM stopped production.
It's not that I don't like the fact that they're carrying on the name. It's just I'm upset that the price point is so high that the people that used to enjoy those cars can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Priced out of it.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, the Trans Am and Firebird and all of that, those cars were not priced out of your average consumer's market reach. Right. Now only the elite, the fancy, I got money to blow and I don't care, can afford those cars.
I know, and that's the tough point. Hang on one split second, guys. Hang on. Okay, I think we're all clear. Sorry about that. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm hopeful for an anniversary edition for the book here for the 20-year death anniversary of the Pontiac Firebird. I want them to bring something back from the grave. So I've been chatting, here and there with Todd to see what they're going to do. We've got plenty of time yet. It doesn't have to be a radical change. It could be something small.
If there's a vehicle that I've wanted that was the 455 Super Duty that they came out with. That car was nasty.
73 and 74.
No, the modern one.
Oh, the new one? Yeah.
The Trans Am Specialties one? Or Trans Am
1100. 1100 horsepower.
Yeah, that was insane. And that blue was gorgeous.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw it. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but you know, it again, that is what it is. I'll take the one that I have sitting back here and enjoy that one. I mean, granted, that one was you know, I only paid $2,500 for it, but you know, technically a lot of those cars are being priced out of the average person's reach as well because of, you know, Barrett Jackson and the collector car market and all that stuff too. So
that's where you find them in the barn.
I found this one underneath a pine tree.
They're on find a California car. They're around, and I think there'll be some, you know, sad, but some shifts after COVID-19 is over. Everybody's going to come out from hibernation, and there'll be a lot of things to come out on the market. You know, I'm always looking, but yeah, Barrett Jackson, that really is driving prices up. Some of the other auctions too.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
well, it's also it's spurring the people that find these cars that don't necessarily want them. They just go hunting just to be able to make a quick turnaround buck. So they'll find a car that was probably affordable from the original, well, maybe but the current owner. Mm-hmm. They'll turn around, maybe give it a bath, and then inflate the price by $5,000 to $10,000 and turn around and resell it, which then makes it not necessarily affordable for a restoration for the average consumer.
Right.
You know, so they're killing the market that way as well by overinflating these cars' price to the point to where it's not affordable to restore them. You know, because I mean, if I put 10 to 20 grand in this car to restore it, it's not technically worth the amount of time and money that I put into it.
None of them are, Sean. It's a labor of love.
But the problem is they're now making it to the point to where it is a business, and that's the people that enjoy it as a labor of love, like me, get pushed aside.
Right.
Yeah.
You're competing with finding that car in grandma's barn. You got to know who's got what. The other thing is, I think car clubs, stick with the car clubs, and it's not. I mean, it is a large following, but there's a sense of family with it. You know, so and so might be selling or trade and do it that way.
2.5 years from the time that I found out about that car to the time that I convinced the current owner to give it up.
Right. Okay. Now, do you stay in touch with the old owner?
He's on my Facebook, but as far as that, no. I mean, that was 5 years ago.
Well, he didn't completely disappear out of your life. Same thing with me with one of my 67s. I am Facebook friends with them, check in with them. They live not far from where I live. So I got my money out of it. I paid 10 for it, and I turned it for 25. But I put some money into it. It's I think for 15 years on blocks. Everything was drained out, and it was a beautiful car, red on red with a white top, automatic. It was a 400, had the hood tack and everything. Still has it. It's in good shape, and it's being taken care of. And because I had so many hell problems with the starter, God, I don't miss the car. But I wouldn't mind, I've got a whole list of them that I want to gather up again at some point. Mm-hmm. But 2022, that's the one I want to get. It's not even built yet. That's why I'm kind of holding out, talking with Scott every so often, and Todd every so often. But I got to get this book underway and out there. And I wanted to thank everybody too. Last time I was on, we did see an improvement in sales, and I definitely got some really good reviews. So thank you, and keep that up. I think there's only a couple of negative reviews that I saw. It is not erotica. It is rated R for a movie. So it's, that's the one negative that I saw, and I thought, I made that clear. It's not going to be that kind of a romance novel. It has a lot of car content, and it's accurate and true. That's another thing. It's a blend and a weave of two weird things. I mean, girls that love cars, that love specifically of, Pontiac Firebirds. Right. So it's a very small target market. There are Mustangs, Camaros, Corvettes, all of that discussed in the book, and a lot of 80s rock. By the way, was chatting with Bruce Kulick this morning, back and forth on Instant Messenger. He got his COVID shot too. I got mine. He got his. Hooray! So there's a site called vaccinefinder.org. I'm not sure if everyone knows about that. I just found it myself the other day and was able to get right in. So the quicker we get all this behind us, yeah, it's called vaccinefinder.org, and it helps people find where it's available anywhere in their area, no matter where you are in the U.S. So that was a huge thing, and I was glad to hear back from Bruce. I sent him the link for John Giannone, and he is looking at, he's a jazz musician composer, and he wants to do music for movie soundtracks and TV. So I'm working on helping him if I can. He's got a lot of really good contacts too. So what do you guys need? What is it that I can help you folks with? With NOVAtazz, pushing it out there, sharing on social media, what's a good thing? What helps?
Yeah, I mean, any kind of sharing in general for social media. I mean, you almost, a lot of the people that follow this have their own YouTube channels. I know Chris does, Firebird Nation. I do NOVAtazz. Big E doesn't. He's just a friend of mine that, well, not just a friend. He is, you know, he's my close friend. So that
I kind of have a YouTube channel.
You
don't count me out.
You don't post anything.
I have a channel. There are videos on there. I'm a YouTuber, damn it.
Yay! I am too, but not very many. I just have the Firebird one. Christmas, and then I've got a few other things. Mike and Ria Zinstra sent me some more videos, so I'm going to be adding some things to the Firebird channel. They've got a lot of video of Freddie, which is the white Trans Am in the pictures, and I saw it on his Facebook. He had the perfect scene out of one of my chapters in my book. The chapter in the book is about cruising Harvard in Southern Oregon, and it was an area where we used to go. So where all the hot rods showed up, in the 80s. Would park in whatever parking lot and stop and visit, and big pickup scene. Anyway, I was out with my guy in the white one, and that black one, 79 Trans Am, went rolling by, and we befriended those guys and some other folks. There was another guy, God, I wish I had a picture of it. It was a white Trans Am, 79, and had a Transformer heavy metal Firebird on the hood.
Oh, that's sweet.
And he had all kinds of health issues with transmission in it, just like I did with the 79 that I almost bought that was at the car dealership. My dad wouldn't let me get it. I remember we took it for a test drive. The headliner was falling in and everything, but he wouldn't let me have it. Trans Am is slipping. The transmission's slipping. It's going to be more expensive. And the car was like $1,000. This was in 88 or 89.
Yeah, see, now it wouldn't cost you very much to freaking replace that transmission today.
No, I know. But he told me no, and had the Ford. Well, that's okay. Ford was
this one behind me doesn't have the stock transmission in it anymore either. It doesn't have the stock engine in it anymore either.
Which year is that? 79, 80,
it's a 79. It's got a 76 400 in it that's been cammed, shaved, and bored. So it's running about 11 to it's basically running the same compression ratio as the SE 400s.
Wow, okay.
So it's got the, what was it? I forget what head's on it, but it now, with the heads being shaved 30,000s, it has the same CCs as the 6X heads that everybody wants. So I mean, it's a thumper. It moves.
What is Jean Grey in the background on it?
Jean Grey, that's the name of the car.
Oh, that's the car's name?
That's the car's name.
That's so sweet.
So that's a nod to the X-Men, and because the license plate reads Phoenix.
Oh, very cool.
So I mean, that I didn't want to call it Phoenix because there's plenty of people out there that call their Trans Ams Phoenix because of the bird. Yeah. So right. I kind of did a little, backdoor nod and called her Jean Grey, because for anybody that doesn't know, Jean Grey is the character that turns into the Phoenix in the X-Men comics.
That's awesome.
So when Jean Grey dies, she comes back as the Phoenix.
That is Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
So her name has
I
been
love
Jean
that.
Grey since probably I only owned her like 2-3 months before I gave her that name already. And that's like my Nova's name is Christine.
From the
It
movie?
has its own reason. I didn't actually name that car. My ex named it because of the mannerisms that car portrayed. She was definitely a Christine. Stuff would fix itself on it without me fixing it. If you talk bad about the car, the engine would start breaking up and dying. It constantly would like close the door on their legs and stuff. If the door was open, it would just close. It did not like any girlfriend that I ever had in that car.
Oh, that's wild. Jealous. Maybe she was haunted.
That's why we called her Christine.
My daughter named the jet skis Julia and Julius. The big one is Julia. No, Julius, the pink one. And that one I have so many problems with. Just got it started this weekend. It's been the one that, and I've had these things for 25 years. All the guests rode. It's been sunk in the lake a few times, different lakes, but I had it all rebuilt the year before COVID hit. Mm-hmm. And had it out on the lake. It was doing great, loving it. Both of them healthy and okay. Took it up to a lake where it was just really high altitude and it wouldn't work, and I drained the battery. So had to put it on tender, try to get it charged up.
Yeah, that's probably the
I was out there messing with it.
Not playing well.
I got real desperate, and I literally said a prayer, and I was like, "Dear God, I don't know, it's something easy. I know it's something easy." And I remember, these things are temperamental. You got to shake them a little bit in the water, and then they'll fire up. So I thought, okay, we can't be in the water right now. We're on the trailer. So I got real aggressive and just really shook that thing, and it worked. It fired up.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, yeah, I get you. These cars have definite personality. Freddie on the front of my book, by the way, yay! I wanted to have a background with this, and it didn't quite pan out. So I'm going to have to go get some dinner and join you folks next time.
Yeah. If you guys, every time you want to come up here, let me know, and I will send you a link.
That's a date.
As you see, my book is sitting back here in the background.
I saw it. I was looking at it. I put on corny 80s glasses and then sign up.
All right. Catch you later.
Jordan Giannoni, Sammy Chaffee.
Have a good night.
I'm forgetting somebody else. All of the books do have proceeds going to, a portion of proceeds going to feedingthehomeless.org, Volunteers for America, and various charities. So thank you guys much, and I look forward to chatting again.
All right. Until next time.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Good night.
I was surprised the other day when she messaged me and asked if she wanted to be, if she could come back on the show.
Oh.
I was like, sure. Yeah, that was actually quite fun. So,
and the best part about Jean Grey's resurrection is I got a personal memento from her.
Yes, you have her heart, her original heart.
Yep.
Pretty soon you'll have her whole car.
That is on your trailer.
That is a story for a different day.
Yeah. Speaking of stories, I have one that.
That's right. You were itching to tell it before we went live.
Yeah. I need my what's wrong with the truck thing up though.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Give me a second.
Bing.
Oh,
Whoop, there it is. Bing. Whoop, there it is. He's slipping. Bing.
Oh. There we go. All right. So, I have been bestowed with a envelope, and. Ooh. On this envelope down here is a QR code. Not that does anything. I just noticed that. But on the front of this, it's got it's apparently addressed to my vehicle first, then me, and you'll notice it says safety recall notice.
What do you got to recall?
Well, see, I've actually taken the liberty of taking a picture of this, and hang on. I'll let you know when I'm ready to. Yeah, I'll let you know when I am ready. I am now ready.
Okay, I will pop it up here. Bippity boppity boop. Wait, hold on. Can you zoom in on that?
I was going to.
Hold on, I'm going to make it so it's just that. All right, so we're no longer
going to recall
it's just that.
The whole truck?
Yep, the whole truck.
Are you really
No, not
shitting
really.
me?
I am not shitting you. This notice applies to my vehicle, this VIN, if, you know, dear me, this notice is sent to you in accordance with the National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act. The Takata Holdings has decided that a defect which relates to motor vehicle safety exists in my truck. Takata has determined that a defect exists in the passenger side frontal airbag inflator in your vehicle. The determination was made that the propellant in this inflator may degrade after a long-term exposure to high humidity and temperature cycling, which we get up here now, thanks global warming, which could cause the inflator to explode during a deployment.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so, you know, it's not bad enough.
Are they just replacing the part, or are they going to replace the whole truck?
Oh, they're not going to replace the whole fucking truck for this. I couldn't get so goddamn lucky.
That's what I thought you were saying a second ago.
No, I wish they would replace the whole truck.
I was getting all excited. Damn, I was ready to say, damn, we need to crack out a beer in Elliot's favor.
By the way, I don't know if anybody noticed, I gave out another 100,000 Nova cash to everybody that was still here at around 10:30.
Cool.
Just because nobody noticed and I didn't put one out for 10 o'clock.
As if it's not bad enough, you know, getting a car accident. If I got someone in the front and it deploys the airbags, they're also going to be getting, you know, a claymore to the face, essentially.
Oh, that's lovely. And it didn't really bother you. It didn't really bother you a couple months ago, but it might bother you now.
Yeah. And it's not like I can like shut the airbag off. It's automatic. If no one's in the seat, it doesn't turn on. If there is someone in the seat, it turns on. Yeah, it's one of those smart ones.
Oh, yeah, because some of them have the keys where you can literally just turn them off.
Yeah, my family had an old S10 where it had one of them.
Yeah, my Dodge has that. If I put the ignition key in the dash and turn it, I can turn the passenger side airbag off.
Yeah, and the parts are not currently available, but when they are, they'll let me know, and I'll have the lovely...
Until then, you know you have a ticking time bomb in your passenger seat.
Yeah, I have a ticking time bomb, and also, can I speak? God damn it, please.
No, can't speak.
Clearly. They're not available, but when they are, I am more than welcome to take my vehicle there so they could damage it just a little bit more while they fix it.
I take it to the next dealership a town over.
There is no dealership a town over. The next dealership is 45 minutes away, and this is probably going to be like, you know, not like a 1 day thing or a 1 hour thing. It's going to take them all freaking day. And I'm not driving 45 minutes to sit in a dealership all freaking day.
Courtesy car.
That's when you take a friend with you. You drop the truck off and you pick it up the next day or the next week or whenever the hell.
That is still
courtesy car. Courtesy car.
Yep, courtesy car.
They don't do courtesy cars. Jesus Christ. I wish they did.
They do down here.
Well, the dealership used to, but then someone got in an accident because they drove like a freaking idiot. So then they stopped giving freaking courtesy cars, and I was without my truck.
The one the next town over might.
There is no next town over.
Next dealership over.
There's no next. Next dealership is 45 minutes away, one way. That's an hour and a half. I would have to go out of my way when I could just go up the guy.
You're complaining, but that's less than my drive every day to work.
One phone call away to find out. Do you assholes give a fucking courtesy car? Because I live an hour away from you motherfuckers, and I don't like these bastards that keep fucking my truck up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be taking it to them just for the sheer fact of they've already messed your car up more than once. I would be, you know what? I'm gonna take that 45-minute one-way trip just so that way I don't have to deal with this dealership that's close to me because they're a bunch of shitheads.
Well, there's a couple of things with this. Firstly, I have a job interview coming up. Granted, it's in 2 weeks.
Congrats.
And secondly, I don't know when they're getting the parts in. If they get the parts in and I still have this thing and I have a job, it's kind of not worth it.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, Christ, if they can give me a freaking courtesy car, I'll bring it over. If they freaking what? Is a pilot?
Yeah,
is a pilot?
It is.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, the mask will save me.
Oh, which side of the ice house cooler did that come out of, right?
The right side, apparently.
My God, it'll just be another death to chalk up to COVID. COVID-19 has killed another.
Yes, because the crystal shards in your lungs were from COVID.
Yeah, totally. No, they'd be in my face. Well, my occupant's face.
There you go.
Well, look at the bright side. that's a new chuck because they knew it was a safety notice that they should have fixed when they had it in there.
Yeah.
That you sue GM. Yeah,
Maybe
so
I'll
defective bullshit.
Maybe I'll get lucky. They'll short something out and it'll burn down and it'll be covered by their insurance.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, look at all. What was it? Was it Honda? Who the hell was the company that had the big issues with the airbags that were by Honda or one of them damn import
Hondas
companies?
were the gas pedal that kept getting stuck.
Which one had the airbag issues?
No idea.
All of
There's
the
one of them has been in the news over the past that had several
Takata.
airbag issues.
Takata is the manufacturer. They make like 90% of all airbags that go into motor vehicles.
Had that big lawsuit that they settled on.
Yeah, this is part of that still.
Wow.
Investigative sleuthing, you mean this may work out in your favor real big.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, it is 11 o'clock at night, and as much as I would like to keep going here, I had not had such a good day, and I'm a little exhausted. So I am going to call this an evening. Thank you guys all for joining us, and I hope you guys had fun and you enjoyed our special guest tonight. And thank you guys for sticking through the second one.
The hell was that?
I have no idea.
Sounded like an airplane flying overhead.
That's the girlfriend stripe.
Oh.
Don't you ever hit that on the side of the road, the vibrator seat, since it's on that side of the vehicle?
Oh, okay.
You see up here, it's not on the side of the road. It's literally the double yellow line.
Oh, so
I don't have no double
And
yellow
they did
lines.
it overnight. It was just like one day it's not there, the next day it is. Like
it's on both sides of the road for us. It's on the double yellow and on the side on the white line.
what I don't get is they could do that, like, and no one will notice it. Like there's no like trucks on the road or nothing like that. But if they need to repave something, it takes them a month to do it. Like why?
I have no idea.
It doesn't make sense.
But you guys want to give your outro?
All right, take it easy, everyone.
Everybody have a good week. Have a great week. Mine's gonna be.
Yeah.
The days are getting brighter.
All right. Until next week, this is NOVAtazz signing out, and we will see you next week, 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. See you guys.
Peace.
Oh, go fucking figure. Look at that.